Yo.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, there I am.
So
Got
before
one
we,
listener straight away, which is Jumaro, so that's nice.
so
Are we live? Yeah.
yeah, kinda like we are in the pre-show right now.
So this is the music.
I think we don't have any music right now. I'm doing a little check on your voice.
Ooh.
Yeah, because last time they told me you were a bit louder, and
Okay.
you
Yeah.
don't have to worry. It's something that I'm adjusting on my end,
Thank you.
so it should be
Good stuff.
better.
My wife just passed me a cup of tea, I think. Coffee. Can't tell.
So
Too hot. So I am ready for tonight.
yeah, let's.
Let's just start. Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Welcome
we
to
have
to
our
our
opening song in the
podcast.
background right now. It's like,
That's nice.
wow.
Ah, we got our own show, guys. It's great. This is it's starting to take shape. So
I just want to
welcome
say,
to the Eurocast, everyone.
uh,
My
uh,
name is Snor, and this is
Dante,
Dante.
and this is a great title. I think we always
Yeah,
the best thing is that you guys don't know the amount of time it takes us to get a title is
yeah.
55 seconds.
It's
And we always come up with stupid titles like this one.
and the amount of preparation that we do is incredible as well. I think we spent about a minute in total going. We said yesterday, yeah, we'll decide tomorrow, and we always do this, right? We just
Yeah.
say, yeah, we'll decide tomorrow what the subjects are, and I always think to myself in the evening, okay, I'm gonna go bed now, right? When I get up, I'm gonna straight away, work on a document and make this nice little presentation and stuff like that, for our Eurocast. But it never happens because I got kids, and I got a cat, and I've got a wife, and I've got life, And before you
Especially,
know it, it's 10 o'clock or it's 11 o'clock and it's time for the Eurocast. And I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna do?
but we always manage
So
to somehow.
somehow within a minute we always manage to do our preparations. So
Kinda.
you know. Oh, by the way, and we're sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, so
Obviously.
it's not obviously.
So,
So today's subjects, we're talking euthanasia, Eurozone, and Euro 2020. So
yes, and bonus topic.
yeah,
Fun.
Chicho.
No, we can do that as well later. But I had promised this. Why does the question mark look the way it does? You're going to find out in the Eurocast.
Oh gosh, man, this better be good. I'm looking forward to this.
It's quite stupid thing. But
Okay.
we can keep people guessing so that they have to stay
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. This is the bait.
Yeah,
You
this is
guys
how.
have been baited.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nice, I mean, to clarify, me, Dante, and the rest of the crew on Forum Gottefunken were watching the Euro 2020s between England and Ukraine got absolutely mashed, didn't it?
They
That
dropped the
was,
ball.
yeah,
That's
I mean, literally, they couldn't get a handle of it. So, you know, oh, I kind of was hoping that Ukraine would get angry again because they were really angry last time,
yeah. I
and
mean,
that helps, when you're when
they
you're
did
a young
even
team.
relatively well at the end of the first half, and then they got too much
Yeah,
time to not do anything, and they stopped.
they just stopped being a football team basically.
Yeah.
So that was nice. So let's see. The next games will be next Tuesday and Wednesday. First we'll get Italy against Spain, which will be a great game, to be honest. I'm
Yeah,
expecting good results from that
it's going to
for
be
the
the
team that I
best
support.
game.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the final will be nice because on Wednesday we're getting Denmark versus England, and um, I don't know, how angry can fishermen really get? Yeah. So the final will be something to see because it'll be one of the three big teams in
Two.
Europe, really.
You mean two big
Playing.
teams against
Yeah,
other
yeah. Well, we
two
don't know
small
who's gonna.
teams?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But we don't know who's gonna win yet from either match, except for the one where England plays Denmark. So sorry, English people, I might have jinxed it now.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
I'm very good at jinxing, so I hope that the last jinx I make is the one that's valid then, because I've been jinxing Italy a lot. So
shall we go towards
yeah,
like
let's go
let's go
towards normal subjects.
like you know people that kill themselves kinda.
Yeah,
Let's go there.
yeah, okay. That's
Let's go there.
yeah, that's a nice segue after I just killed myself, by the
Yeah.
way. Yeah, yeah. So
So
go on. Yeah, you chose the subject, so I'll let you elaborate. So tell me, why did you choose euthanasia as our first subject? To be honest.
so let's start by saying this is something that like happened to me today because I went to sign a petition. It's not a petition as in, the ones
Mhm.
you have on the internet. It's actually an official thing where you need
Yeah.
500,000 signatures that have to be
Okay.
verified and everything. And we can have a
Mhm.
referendum on that, on
Okay.
euthanasia.
Yeah.
And I did look around, like the situation around Europe,
Mhm.
and it looks like other than the Benelux where it's legal,
Mhm.
the rest of Europe it's either fully legal or it's legal in some ways but not in others.
Yeah.
It's always a bit complicated,
Hmm.
and
I mean, yeah.
the situation with Italy is a bit special, as in the reason why we got here is
Mhm.
uh, a bit complicated to put it mildly. So we had there was a famous case, someone was called DJ Fabo, and he had a disease, like he was bedridden, but he wanted to end his life, but obviously it's illegal in Italy. So someone helped it. It's like an association helped him to go to Switzerland because there it's legal.
Yeah.
And then the person that helped him went to the police, I guess, and I don't know, told him on himself because
Turned himself in
yes,
for basically assisting the dying of his friend.
yes, because as far as the laws goes, you can't you can't assist anyone in killing themselves. It's because the idea is, there is a difference between making someone die and helping them die. Like
Mm.
there are differences, obviously, and
Mm.
the Italian system doesn't really have that difference coded too much. Like there are some instances, but it's a bit of a gray area.
Yeah.
So he turned himself in because he wanted, I mean, as a civil protest, let's call it that way,
Mm.
because he
Yeah.
wanted this to go to a court and see and have uh,
Yeah. Have a ruling by the Italian Supreme Court in the end,
yes,
right? That was his goal.
which the weird part is the Supreme Court got to that, and
Mm.
at first they just postponed the ruling, saying uh, that mostly it's they didn't want to. Obviously, he's innocent, so he's not going to jail or anything.
Mm.
But there is uh, a missing legislature there, and
Mm.
they asked Parliament to do something about that. They did nothing
Okay.
because it's Parliament. And
I see.
after a year, they had to get to give a more let's say a more complete sentence.
Hmm.
So that sentence is now part of the Italian legislation, but it's
Yeah.
simply uh, another small part, but it's not like the whole thing is fixed. And they
Hmm.
again asked Parliament to take on this issue. But
Yeah.
the problem is obviously no party is going to, at least especially the bigger ones, they don't want to deal with something like this, even
Hmm.
though um, Italians are mostly, and I would imagine most European countries, to be honest, are
Hmm.
mostly in favor of it.
Yeah.
Like it's let people choose at the end of the day.
Hmm.
So it's not like you are going to find that many people that are necessarily against it, but no one is, uh, no political party wants to spend capital on political power on that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why right now we have mm, this movement to start with the signatures, and hopefully we get a referendum to change the
Oh, okay.
way the law works.
Yeah.
And
That's
by the
that's
way,
very good, by the way. Yeah.
this signatures campaign, it is supported by some parties or regional parts of some parties. So it's not like
Hmm.
parties aren't involved at all. Obviously they are,
Yeah.
but it's they are not making of this like their the big issue. The big issues are
Hmm.
others, and they don't
Yeah.
want to
They
spend
don't
too
want to
much
touch
on.
this one because they will lose political capital either one way or the other. By the
Yeah,
way,
because the thing is,
especially for example the more right wing parties.
yes,
You see
obviously.
them,
Although it's
because
not
they
like
they
they're
have more conservatives.
the thing is, people that vote on the right, they're not necessarily against it.
Yeah.
It's just they don't care too much. Like the thing is,
Hmm.
if you are a right-wing political party,
Yeah.
those people that vote for you might not. You are probably going to have people that are not against it, and people
Hmm.
that are against it that vote for
Yeah.
you, and those that are not against this measure, they are not against it, but they're not
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
for it that it's really important for them.
Hmm.
So it's
And
better
Italy
to
doesn't.
just not do anything for them.
Yeah, it's better to do nothing, basically. And Italy doesn't really have a Catholic party or anything, right? It's
No.
in this legislation there is basically no representation of the Catholic Church or anything.
Well,
Or party. I mean, there are parties that have Catholics in them, obviously.
I mean,
Um,
Salvini goes around kissing crosses, so you know.
yeah. Okay.
Although it's not like he's a Catholic person, it's just pandering. It's not
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
a Catholic
Obviously, it's
party.
very very obvious pandering.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the Catholic
Yeah.
party because you would
Yeah.
an actual Catholic party would be probably a bit different.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. In the Netherlands, of course, we have euthanasia. So I mean, it's legal here under certain circumstances. Belgium, funnily enough, has more of a lenient system than we do.
Hmm.
In Belgium, people that are also not sick can request euthanasia if they can prove that they've had has such a psychological issue with continuing to live that they
Hmm.
can't stand it anymore.
I mean,
But in both countries, you need the approval of two doctors to get this, to get euthanized.
I mean,
Switzerland has a clinic for it actually.
yes. Although in Switzerland,
Whereas, yeah,
I think they give you uh, like the medicine or whatever, and you do it
mm,
yourself. I
you
think.
do it yourself. Yeah, in a clinic in a medical environment.
Yeah, in a clinic, but you have to do it yourself. They can't do it on you. Which which obviously means that some people, for example, if you are in a vegetative state,
Mm,
or simply you are paralyzed, you can't do anything. So it's not
true.
really. The thing is, I think we have the possibility here like the opportunity of, since we start from nothing to kinda, if we have this referendum, which would, the referendum in itself would change all the laws that make it illegal to help someone to die. We could, in theory, have a system that's more, I think it's simply better compared to whatever else is in Europe, because once you have the system in place, I would imagine it's really difficult to change it, for example, in Switzerland. But since you start from the start, it's easier to go all out, I would imagine.
Exactly.
Not like it's easy, because I would imagine, I don't know, we have to see. Because the thing is, you have the referendum, which makes it illegal, but it's not like that would be, like, the referendum would make it legal, but it's not like that would be the end of it. There would be legislation needed to manage it after you make it legal.
Exactly. It's not like, okay, now you can walk into your grandpa's room and shoot him,
Yeah, I mean, there are obviously, might as well do this. So,
What, you're going to shoot your grandpa?
yeah. So, I mean, this is in Italian, so it's not going to be too much of too helpful, but I think it's for those on Twitch. I mean, I'm streaming the
I'm watching.
website.
I'm also following along, of course.
So the article we would change already has some parts that would obviously you need the consent of the other person, and the consent needs to be from someone that is able to think and stuff.
Yeah, that's compos mentis. Yeah, exactly. That's
psychological issues. There are obviously already some of those things are already in there. For example, you have to be over 18, so a minor can't do that. There are obviously already some things in place, but I would imagine in the future you would need other laws as well, probably. But I think, I mean, I went to sign it, so obviously I'm a bit biased on, and I agree.
also based, by the way. Let's be honest, right? That's
No, let's not.
Freudian slip there, but go on. You're a little bit biased.
I'm a bit biased here, but I think it's probably something that we need as a society. Like, I think this is probably like a bit of my liberal side, but I think it should not be what we do on issues such as this one. They shouldn't be based on older, I guess, like on Christianity or stuff like that. It's not like you shouldn't die because it's a sin. We should, at most, I think, like I would, obviously, killing yourself should be the last resort. If someone has psychological issues, I would rather, like, I would want for that person to have help first, and hopefully that's be enough. And obviously, when it comes to psychological issues, I think it's a lot harder there to say when
to determine exactly. I mean, a person's mind can be changed, and medication does help.
Yes.
Those kind of things.
But maybe.
But when all else fails, and that person really doesn't see any reason anymore for life, it's hard to say. I mean, I think also one thing, it's not just the religious aspect of it, right? It's also the fact that thou shalt do no harm as a doctor. You can't go against the Hippocratic oath, as it were, which you
although the thing is,
sign as a doctor. But I mean, when are you doing more harm than? Yeah, I know there is a barrier to that, but that's where the discussion is.
I mean, in countries such as Italy, even if euthanasia in itself is illegal, there are some instances where it's kind of legal, as in if a patient is dying, there is a concept that you shouldn't
prolong their suffering.
As a doctor, just making it suffer, like doing other stuff to make him suffer, when if it's useless, as in it's just making it suffer more, and he's not going to get better. The doctor needs to leave it be, and that's a law here. So, and as far as you know, I think it's something like this is the case in most of Europe. So it's already like I get your point of their oath, but they already have something like that in place. Like they already have instances where they can't just keep trying if it's too much, if it's too late. So I do understand the point that you're making about doctors not that they shouldn't do that, but I think it's not too much of an issue in itself. Probably like it's not. I don't know all the technical ways to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if since sometimes you can do it yourself, and that's something else, and sometimes maybe you can just have someone else do it that isn't a doctor. Although I guess the logistical aspect of it, should you force doctors to do it or not? I guess not. But
No.
although
You know,
the thing is,
there are doctors that could sign up for something like that. You know, I know that happens in the Netherlands.
the thing is,
Your doctor can refuse to do it, but you can get an opinion from a doctor who does. You know,
although the thing is, if you do that, no doctor is going to sign it, even those that aren't against it, because if you do, you are going to be the doctor that does just that, because there's going to be few of them. Because when it comes to abortion in Italy, it's somewhat similar. Doctors can say if they want to do it or not.
Yeah.
And those that do end up being the abortion doctors because they are the only ones that do it.
Do it.
And
Exactly.
so even if you are not against it, if you want to have your career be something other than just abortions, you say no, even if it's. So I don't know how much leeway doctors should have. Although, so I don't know.
I see. Yeah.
I mean, if you want, would you want that the service to be available only in some big cities, because just there you're going to have doctors that do
doctors that specialize in it, and you know, or morally drawn to that.
So I don't know.
You know,
It's a bit
baby
complicated
killings, baby killing clubs. You know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Or you know, I mean, in this case, you know, in the case of euthanasia, you know, just retirement homes where you never come out. You know.
Although I think,
I mean,
it's I would imagine it's a lot easier, and I do think it's one of the reasons why the biggest example we have right now in Italy, like the biggest fight is, as I said earlier, when it was about DJ Fabo, because it wasn't as much of a mental issue there. He was just incapable.
He was very
he was bedridden and he couldn't do anything. It was his life was hell. He was having like pain and everything, and he was never going to get better. So and I think when it comes to convincing people, that's obviously like, I would imagine it's a lot easier to tell someone. The thing is, often people, when it comes to stuff like this, if it's about others, they would even say no. Like, I don't want, I don't know, my dad to give up, I would imagine. But if it happens to you, like, I can see, like, so often you see people say, yeah, if I get in an accident, I go in vegetative state, or I become paralyzed, I would rather die in the accident. How many people say that? So
yeah, exactly.
If it's up,
I mean, as far as I've read on this case, you know, I mean, the Fabo case is that basically he was blind and he was unable to move, right? And he first was kind of really, you know, he wanted to succeed at his rehabilitation, but there was no medical, you know, way for him to get there. basically, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to rehabilitate, and that's when he fell into depression and wanted to die. Is that what is that correct?
Yes, yes, that's pretty
Yeah,
much. And
yeah,
I do think it's. I mean, it's a bit cynical of me to say, but I think it's probably the best case that you to have if you want to have this fight,
yeah,
because it's a lot easier to convince people of why euthanasia should be legal. At least,
mm,
like you say, if you were in his place, you probably want to die as well.
mm,
If you
yeah,
if it was you, and this is the tricky part, you need to
mm,
ask them if it was you, not your family
yeah,
member, because I
mm,
would imagine, like, yes, I don't know, I don't care if my dad, my brother, whatever, he's suffering, I just want him here
mm.
alive. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
obviously what you would
exactly. I mean,
say.
that's a very emotional decision, you know. I mean, I have personal I have a personal connection to that kind of thing. Basically, let's see, it's now 2021, so that's in 2005. My father was also in coma because of a problem that he had with cancer, and he had already put in his will that, you know, if he were to be in a coma and you know, there was no chance of resuscitation, that he would then just like the plug to be pulled, you know,
Mm-hmm.
figuratively. And we had the, you know, we went through with that, and that was a very emotional decision. You know, my family had big problems with that. My mum was in first instance, she was against it, but in the second, you know, after a while, you know, I mean, you have to imagine that, you know, if there's no chance of recovery at all, you know, something like that is very, you know, it's very hard to keep that up, seeing someone in a, you know, in a state where you know, that they're no longer there, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, you know, she in the end decided to end my father's life, her husband's life. And some of the families, especially the more religious ones, they were really against it. You know, so it did create a lot of conflict in the family in the end, and that was, you know, quite hard to take. You know,
Just
for the mom.
did she even have, like, this is something that, as far as the law goes, did
Mm.
any of you even have any choice in the matter? Like, if he signed his
Yeah.
will, wouldn't that be enough? Can you just overturn that?
Well, you can fight it in the courts, you know, which makes it a long, protracted um,
Okay,
fight,
yes.
basically. You know, you do get a grace period, you know, to say goodbye and this and that. And in that grace period, you can kind of decide, you know, if you want to fight it.
Yeah, but
Um,
at the most you could do would say he's not capable
yeah,
of.
he wasn't capable when he wrote his will, you know, which is a long, you know, how do you prove that? You
Yeah.
know, that's hard to do, especially in my dad's case, because he was a very, you know, forceful person.
Hmm.
You know, you knew when he was there.
And I mean,
But
even
yeah,
if you, I mean, other than it's hard to prove, and then if you were to go to court, you would to to try to
probably
prove
lose.
it, you would have to,
Yeah,
like, throw all the dirt that you have on your family
exactly,
member.
on a family member, and
So
that is
it would
very
be
hard to
probably
do.
really
So,
ugly, I would imagine.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's
So,
the
you
only
know, I
way you
mean,
can prove it,
that's
right?
the only way to do it. I'm, you know, so in the end, my mum did decide to do, to accede to his will, you know, and he was, they used morphine to bring him into the permanent sleep, as it were, and then, you know, basically let him die. In a very pleasant manner. Let's be honest, right? When you're on morphine, you don't feel anything anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
obviously.
you know, so that was very emotional at the time, and you know, even though it's years ago, you know, this still kind of goes in the family, and some of our family members still aren't very happy with this. Um, but you know, these decisions are very hard to take, I think. Uh,
I mean,
you know,
obviously, this is not something.
yeah,
Uh, I think it's not like just because you are in favor of of legalizing it doesn't mean that it's something that it's easy to do or it's easy to deal
Yeah,
with. I think it's
exactly.
in a different manner. It's like abortion. Even
Mm,
like you can be pro-abortion, even like people that have abortions. It's not like it's a cake. It's a walk in the park. It's not easy to have it.
mm,
Even if you are, if you want to have it and everything,
yeah,
it's quite a process, and
mm,
it's emotionally draining.
yeah,
And I think it's the same thing here. It's not like just because like you can you're like the logical part of you can say is probably that it's the best choice.
mm.
Doesn't mean that it's the easy choice. You know?
True. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about the end of someone's life, which I mean, when someone is advanced in age, it's different. When someone dies when they're 80 without being assisted, it's a different thing, but it's still emotional. This just cranks it up to 1,000.
Yeah. And
These are emotional decisions that you make on behalf of someone else then as well, and because there's two doctors involved,
although I don't know,
that does
is it?
formalize the process, as it were.
I don't know that it's on behalf of someone else though. Like
Yeah,
he
I mean,
decided on himself, and you
yeah,
accepted it,
exactly. Yeah, we accepted it.
which
That's true.
I would say, like I understand, and it should be possible to obviously fight it,
Mm,
but like mm, at the end of the day, the one that decides it's himself decided,
mm,
and I do think it like it helps. I would imagine to some degree that it's not like you are forcing, like you are deciding it on yourself. Like it's a lot easier if there's a will compared to someone if it's a vegetative state and then he can't even tell you what he wants.
mm,
So I think it's and about the will, it's something that in Italy we got just a few years ago,
mm.
somewhat some parts of it.
Yeah.
We don't have everything that we would like to have in there, but
Mm,
there is something that we can now do, and I think it's
yeah. Well,
uh,
I'm very glad that you signed the petition. To be honest, good on you. I'd like to encourage anyone
yeah.
who comes across, a pro-euthanasia campaign to sign these petitions, because it is important. It does give people closure at the end.
Yeah, and
Personally, for example, I can't imagine having my dad still be in the hospital right now. You know,
yeah, that's
and going to visit him. That would be way more painful than the closure that I have now. With my dad's passing, and you know,
especially I would imagine, especially when it comes to those cases where even the pain treatment is impossible.
hmm,
Like there are some people that they do have some kind of pain treatment because
hmm,
that's the only thing they can do. There's nothing they can do about the actual issue, like the actual condition they have. And even that, the
yeah,
pain treatment isn't enough. They can't treat the pain to the fullest. They can just make it a bit less, but it's not always possible to make it bearable. So imagine, I would imagine like having someone that you care about, having them be
yeah, the subject of incredible pain.
yeah,
Yeah,
just for
I
your
mean,
selfish reason at the end of the day, because you
yeah,
know that he's there, like you are making him, that
mm,
person, have that pain just because you want him there and you don't care about the pain.
yeah,
So, and as I said, it's obviously the way why I think it's a bit easier for us to discuss it now.
mm,
It's because we are now trying to go at it in a more I don't know, like I don't know if logical is the best word, but
mm,
going a bit more analytical about it and thinking about it with
yeah,
cool heads. But obviously, if you are
exactly.
in that situation when it's emotional, when it's a lot harder, which
Yeah,
is why such decisions, I think, like if something like this should be legal or not, it's not something that you decide when it comes the time, but not when it's you need it right there and then. It's something
Yeah.
that you should decide earlier.
Exactly. You have to have a procedure in place to deal with it, basically.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. Yeah. That's the job of Parliament. When you look at Italy, though, my question is then, one of our users on Forum Gottfried posted a poll which says 68% of Italians are in favor of euthanasia. Pushing something through Parliament and the upper house shouldn't then be that hard, should it? This is something that it does take time to iron out all the details and stuff. But once the legislation's there, I take it that most parties will then kind of accede to this and make it a legislation then.
Especially right now, the issue is that right now the government, as you know, has everyone in it, other than
exactly,
one party. And the only way, you need everyone to agree, otherwise you would have a crisis and a governmental crisis.
So you're saying it might still not happen because of because everyone's in the government.
Yeah, it's not easy to do it in Parliament. That's why, it's really hard. As I said last time, even when it comes to the LGBT rights law, which that has a majority in Italy as well. It's not like people, when it comes here, what most people would say, at most, is it's not necessary because they already have protections. The amount of people that say they shouldn't have no protection for them is quite low. So and even that, it's hard to get passed in Parliament.
To get passed, yeah.
And that's why we're trying they're trying the referendum way, because that way you just skip past Parliament. You just have a referendum.
That's actually a good idea. So, is there any word on when that referendum will be, or is it still being the obviously people are still signing the petition?
Yeah, you would first need 500,000 signatures, and those signatures then have to be all verified. Yeah. Because you need someone. Only some people can do it, lawyers and stuff. Those people that have the qualification to do that. And after all those votes, all the signatures are verified, they get they are used to start the referendum. So
the referendum process.
It's not like we have a date for the referendum. You need first to sign. It might take a year to get them, or we might not get them ever, or we might get them in 1 month. We're not going to, but you never know. It's not.
You never know exactly.
Although to be honest, I do think it's not impossible, because at the end of the day, it's 500,000. It's a lot, kinda, but I do think.
Italy has a population of what?
Around 60 millions.
In the 60 millions, exactly. So 500,000 is that should be possible.
Yeah,
you should be able to find a few more signatures somewhere in Crete,
the thing
in Rome,
is, let's be realistic here. It's mostly going to be younger people that are going to sign this. So, or older people that need it, I guess. Jokes aside, it's probably going to be younger people, which, as you know, it's harder to get them to do anything. But it is I do think that it's something that we can attain. I do think there are enough young people that, for example, I think there is one example that someone I know that gave me. There is YouTube channel, Italian one, that does politics stuff, politics news every day, and that has 600, I think, I think 600,000 subscribers or a bit
Oh,
more. I
okay,
don't know.
okay. So that, yeah.
So obviously that's not going to be one to one.
No,
The
no, no,
amount
no,
of
no. But
active
it's an
people is more.
indication that it's quite popular anyway.
But for example,
Yeah.
you getting like a more realistic number, it gets like
Mm.
120, 150,000 views per day. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
those are people that would probably all vote for it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly, exactly.
it's not that impossible.
Mm.
I think it's something that can be done. And
Ah,
I do
very good.
think it's
Well,
something that we need, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, yeah.
And
I agree. I mean, as someone who's gone through the process and of losing a parent to cancer, and having to apply euthanasia, on family member, it is really something close to my heart. So I'm very glad that you signed the petition, and I'm hoping that all of our listeners have also kind of learned something from this conversation. You
and
know,
there is something else. This is a bit like
mhm,
high and mighty of me, but I
yeah.
do hope if Italy manages to get it,
Mhm.
uh, and I don't want to sound like the Benelux, who cares? It's small countries, but kinda. Like jokes aside, though, I do hope that if something like this happens in Italy,
Mm.
that would make, I would imagine, would make quite the news
Yeah,
around Europe, and
exactly.
maybe
As
it
one of the
might,
big three in the EU,
yeah,
something like that would send a signal
and
to,
hopefully
for
maybe
example,
at least
countries like
Germany.
Germany.
I would imagine
Yeah,
like Germany, France, Spain, that might
mm,
they might have their
yeah.
own uh,
I don't know about
steps towards
Spain,
that. I mean, Spain is
but
ruled by socialists.
yeah, that's true. But they're also very Catholic down there, to be
Yes,
honest.
but Italy is in theory Catholic as well, and
Yeah, in theory, but everyone knows the Italians just choose the side that they want to,
well,
that
we
wins.
don't really care too
It's
much
never
about the
gonna.
Pope, but yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
I mean,
but
I don't expect like
yeah,
the Balkans to do much because when I said earlier that most of Europe has some kind of
mm, yeah,
euthanasia in place, like as I said, like medical uh,
mm,
when someone is too sick and the medic has to just let it go. I don't think as far as a quick Google search went, looks like it's not the case in the Balkans. That's just
mm,
illegal there, no matter
yeah,
what. So I don't even if something happens in Italy, I don't expect I don't know Hungary to do anything. Let's be
no,
honest.
no.
But
Although I mean the Baltic states, Sweden, Finland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia.
I like
They
that
might
for you,
they
but
might they might see this as a subject at some point as well.
I like that
I don't,
Sweden is a
you know,
Baltic state.
yeah. Well, they are, technically so is Denmark,
Which, by the way, it is it is quite interesting. I think that you would
Mhm.
expect them to already have it.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah,
of weird that
yeah,
they don't. Like it's just the Benelux.
yeah.
Obviously, there are some different ways that it can be
Mm,
done in other countries.
yeah.
It's not like black and white, yes or no. It's always a bit more
Mm,
complicated.
yeah.
But hopefully we
Yeah,
get
that is
more.
quite surprising, actually. And, for example, when it comes to abortion, the Nordic countries and the Baltic states are always also, quite quite progressive. Um, so yeah, that now that you mentioned that, that does kind of, it does surprise us. So I'd like to ask all our listeners as well, if you have any comments on the subject, don't hesitate to talk to us either in Forum Gottefunken in the casual channel, or if you want to in private as well.
Or on Twitch.
Because hmm?
Or people on
Or on
Twitch.
Twitch,
You
or on
can find
Twitch, of
there.
course. I mean,
We check
we
the
will
Twitch
never
main
forget
channel.
our lovely Twitch listeners. Um, but it's a bit hard to chat during the program on these kind of subjects because they're very in depth, and they're very emotional subjects. So don't hesitate to contact me if you want to talk further on the subject.
Yeah, if
But I think since it's almost midnight, man. You
yeah,
know, we started today. Um, I think we should switch track a little bit and go for a more lighthearted subject. You know, like the Eurozone expansion.
yeah, and to,
You know,
just since I just I just saw that we didn't explain the title.
we didn't. The
We
euthanasia zone. No,
yeah.
I did. I did. I told them what the subjects were.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, when we
kind of. So,
started,
yeah, that's why
kind of.
we were going to talk
Well,
about the
let's
Eurozone.
recap.
So,
Okay, so we're going to talk about this podcast today is this Twitch cast, I should say, has three subjects: Euro 2020, which we already kind of discussed, you know, but of course euthanasia and the Eurozone expansion, you know, so hence the euthanasia zone, which is, you know, kind of the thing that I came up with, and I'm kind of ashamed of now. Um, what a shit title. Um, but
but before you do so,
yeah,
before you
go
do
on.
so, let's explain why a question mark looks the way it does. So,
Okay.
this is
So
like
why?
fun facts with
Fun
Eurocast.
fact you have with Eurocast with Dante.
And this comes from someone else. I didn't know it. I learned it this week, so might as well share with the
Oh,
class.
okay, yeah, go on.
Why does it look like it? If you are on Twitch, you can already see something that explains it.
Yeah.
So back in the days after the Roman Empire fell, you know, we had monks and stuff write on books everything that we had back then,
Mm,
and you know, it was in Latin, and they didn't use the question mark, the Latins, the Romans.
mm,
So what the monks would do would add a question at the end of a sentence. Question would be, you know, question in Latin. Quite self-explanatory, I guess. And instead of writing the whole word, they just did QO
mm.
because, you know, and
Okay, yeah,
and then since QO it looked like weird and stuff, like is it a word or whatever, they started
yeah.
doing it vertically, so the Q up, the O down, then the
Okay.
O become a point and the Q become slowly become
Yeah.
what's now the question mark. And now, you know,
Ah,
people, this was
this is a good fact, actually,
this
you
was
know.
fun fact with Eurocast.
Ah.
Come here every week. You
Yeah,
might
come here
get
every
it.
week to see language lessons with Dante.
New fun
Yeah,
facts every once in a
new
while.
fun facts.
Let's
Oh,
talk
great.
about something a bit more
Yeah, 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 yeah.
important.
No, no, let's let. But that's actually quite good. That's, you know, these little things to know. So thanks for that. Um, yeah, let's talk about the Eurozone expansion. I mean, this month, right? Bulgaria is going to the polls to either elect a new government or to keep the old one, or as is their want. Um, and uh, the Bulgarian government also this week said that that they will be joining the Eurozone within 3 years. And you know, that prompted me to say to myself, well, let's talk a little bit about Eurozone expansion. You know, we've got a number of countries which are going to try to accede to the euro. We've got
And if
yeah,
some Bulgarian might be listening,
yeah,
such Bulgarian can join us on the Eurocast.
yeah.
Just saying, Bulgarian people
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
person.
Bulgarian people, if you're out there, you can always join us on the Eurocast. Uh, I see Vordy starting to sweat at the moment in the Eurocast chat. You know, it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah,
But our good friend STS also mentioned it. You know, he says Bulgaria, Croatia, and eventually Romania in the Eurozone would be perfect.
I
Looking
mean,
forward to it.
we all know
Um,
which of those
yeah.
is the real important one, right? Like,
Yeah, I
no
know.
one cares about Bulgaria or Romania having the euro. We all want Croatia too because we go there for our vacations.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, I mean, from the north, it's a different kind of view, you know. Bulgaria is seen as the young and up and comer, right?
Yes, but
Whereas
you don't.
Croatia is seen as the holiday country, and
Yes,
Romania is seen as the most corrupt place in the universe.
exactly. So you,
You know?
when a
Yeah.
Dutch person goes on a holiday, they don't go to
Mm.
Bulgaria or Romania, so they don't care if they have the euro, but they go to
Yeah.
Croatia, and
Yeah.
therefore Croatia needs to have the euro. It's simply to
That's
make
true.
our life easier. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
because we care about them, it's because we care about ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's how
Yeah.
the EU works.
Yeah, that's the last stage to letting in the Dutch people with all their thousands of caravans. You know, the caravan mania of the Dutch is well known throughout Europe.
And then the towel
Every
wars
Dutch
with the
person has a
Germans.
caravan, and we all drive it through France in the summer,
Do you
causing.
engage in towel wars the way Germans do?
No, 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 no. We park our caravans in specially made tent cities for Dutch people.
The way
They
you're
serve
saying
only
it, it looks.
Heineken, right?
I
It's like being in Holland, you know. It's like a little bit of Holland that they take with them,
like
and you
I
know
imagine
that
in
is also
places.
in their caravan themselves. You know, they've only got Dutch food in there, and they're very stingy. You know, this is actually truth. You know, I'm not like this is this
Like,
happens every year.
like
You know,
I'm imagining like
it's
around Europe there are like pockets like only Dutch people come here, and it's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the subtitles in the
It's kind
native
of like what the
language.
English do. You
It's
know.
like this is a place only for special people, as in special with mental disabilities. Don't
Yeah,
come
yeah.
here, and it's just
It's like
Dutch
STS
people.
STS from FG says Dutch people over here are sneaky as fuck in some places. They bought property in remote areas that barely anyone knows about. Yeah, exactly. You know, that's how it starts. You know, that's going to be a holiday camp soon with frikandels and you know Dutch songs and all those kind of things just happening all night and all day in the summer. You know,
Sounds
that's
nice.
that's going to be it.
Not sounds nice. Not.
Yeah. See what we do get, you know. I mean, we get a lot of Germans in the Netherlands.
I
You
mean,
know,
who doesn't?
yeah, I know,
I mean,
but you know, I
everyone
mean,
gets lots of
because
Germans, you know.
yeah, we're a little bit closer than you, though. You've still got a buffer between you and
Yeah,
Germany,
but the
right?
buffer is Austria. No, no German is going to
Yeah,
stay there.
and Switzerland. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like more Germany.
Transit countries. Yeah,
Yeah.
German transit countries.
You know what?
But
What's like Austria for
but
them?
there's still
It's
like it's still like a distance, you know. I
no,
mean,
it's simply
from
like the gate where they have to pay to get to Italy. That's what those countries are. They need to pay the road to get to Italy. I think that's what the Germans know most of those countries.
yeah, it's you know the diplomatic gentleman, one of our longtime listeners, has joined the chat now. You know, and he says he's replacing the Dutch with the actual Germans. You know, in the Netherlands slowly. So, you know, it's. But you know, the holiday season is now starting. Obviously, this has an effect on you know the eurozone, and the eurozone will people will be able to go on holiday easier in the eurozone than they will be in the non-eurozone countries. Ha- the, my kind of comment on that is that you know with COVID, people will be looking for holiday closer to home. So people will probably not quickly be ones to book a trip to faraway countries. So you'd have to get it from your neighbors. You know, your neighbors already know what you are. You know, so if there's a barrier between you going to your neighbors for a nice piss up in the summer,
Although I
you
don't
know,
know, like
you know,
yes,
like having to change currency, you know, to some kind of weird as hell,
so this
currency that no, you know, no one else but these weird tribesmen use next door.
I mean,
You know,
because of
that is a big.
COVID, I do think that Europe, like Europeans are probably going to go around just Europe more this month because, as you know, we have started doing vaccinations and stuff, but and obviously some other places on Earth too, but not everyone uses the same stuff. Meanwhile, in Europe, we have those that we deem safe. So you would rather not go in places where you don't feel they use the good vaccinations.
Yeah.
And I would imagine it's a lot, like you would feel a lot safer to just go to another European country instead of, or which is not Hungary, just saying. You would probably feel a lot safer in Europe instead of going outside of the EU. So yeah, I would imagine those countries are
Yeah.
going to get quite a lot. And by the way, I know earlier I joked, but for example, I do know that Romania has, when it comes to nature, it has quite a lot of beautiful places, and it would probably help tourism if they had the euro. I
Yeah.
mean, they would need to fix a lot of other stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's not like that's the silver bullet that is going to fix everything, but it would probably help to some degree, I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think you know, for the recovery effort that we're going to be able to finally get the advantages of now. You guys probably a lot more than us. You know, when you're not in the euro, you know there is a loss. There is a loss there.
Yeah.
You know, the Euro group itself is gaining more power as well. You know, their meetings are usually held
And then,
at the same time.
you have to remember people
Mm,
like us, Italians, we tend
yeah,
to be, it's not like we are racist. We just don't
yeah.
deem people without the euro as Europe, pretty much.
As yeah, yeah, as
I mean,
Europe, yeah, exactly, exactly. You know,
I am saying it
kind of like,
jokingly, but there are
yeah,
plenty of people,
just a
especially,
little racist. Yeah,
no, especially people that don't know much about the EU. They don't know if a place is part of Europe or not unless they have the
yeah, yeah,
euro.
yeah,
So, just saying, if you want our money,
yeah.
join the euro.
I find it still very very cool that, that Greece has the euro. By the way, STS. I have to say, you know, one of our users, of course, is Greek, and you know, we like to tease him about it, but
I mean,
you know,
if they
you
didn't,
know,
would we
yeah.
go there in summer
Would we go
vacation?
there on holiday to
Yeah.
visit you? No, sorry, STS. You
So
know,
that's why they need it.
yeah.
And
So.
we are glad to go there every once in a while.
So in 2024 is when we're going to see Bulgaria at the earliest. This is their plan. Croatia is 2023, but Romania, we also have a Romanian user who joins us frequently, is in 2027. You know, and the road for Romania is to
It's quite long and
the
winded.
eurozone is a quite long one because of their, you know,
They have
they
issues.
had a very, yeah, they've had issues mainly because of their communist past, you know.
Yeah. Although
I think it for
Bulgaria
people that
has
don't
some issues as
remember,
well.
yeah, Bulgaria has some issues as well, but you know they're not Romanian level issues.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they're
To be honest,
close. Like they are
yeah,
neighbors. There is a reason.
yeah. But during the communist times, Romania, of course, was ruled by Ceausescu, who was an incredible. Well, he was basically a robber baron. People in Romania were one of the poorest people in Europe at the time. You know,
Still
and
are.
having yeah, you know,
Sorry.
they were basically third world
Still are.
time. No, no, they're climbing up. They're climbing up. I have to say, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
for example, the European Prosecutor's Office, a nice institution which you definitely want in your country, is now in Romania,
Yeah.
and has started also helping Romania on the road to being more of a eurozone
I mean,
country by
we like to joke,
you know,
especially
starting
me,
to prosecute
but they have
the
quite a lot of potential. Like Romania can be the
yeah,
next Poland. Like Poland
yeah,
obviously still has room to grow, but
yeah,
it's already quite. It's not Western level richness yet, but
mm,
I mean there are places where in Poland where they have wages that are the same as some
mm,
parts in the West.
yeah,
So They are almost there, and Romania, I think, can be. It's like the next
Yeah,
one, the next big
yeah,
country that can do
yeah,
the same. I think, like
yeah.
they have
And
potential if
I
they
also
get rid
think
of
that
corruption.
a longer time outside the euro might actually be beneficial for them, because they can devalue their currency themselves, and therefore put a lot of manufacturing towards them before they jump towards the euro. In which case they've got high-end manufacturing, with within a zone where they can basically transfer money, and then join Schengen as well.
Well, yeah, it depends.
So I think them choosing a later date is probably more advantageous to them
And then
than
you have
not.
Croatia. When it
Then
comes
you
to
have Croatia.
Croatia, it's literally
Yeah,
it can't be soon enough for them.
yeah,
They
yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
since they joined the
I think
EU.
the rest of the EU, I mean, apart from the countries that are already in the eurozone, and live next door, basically, I think the more Nordic countries are like, yeah, another holiday destination is good. If their finances are okay, we're okay with them. Whereas the Croatians themselves are just gagging for it right now. They're like, oh, when can we get it? When can we
I
get
mean,
in?
yeah, because
So it's
for
it's very
them,
fun to watch this.
it's. I mean, Croatia, since it joined the EU, has become
Yeah,
their whole economy is become tourism and people
yeah,
buying houses there as speculation.
exactly. Yeah,
So they really, really want the euro, so people
yeah,
can
yeah.
buy even more houses and
And
go
come to
there.
even more beaches. It's yeah. Well, it works. They're on the Adriatic, so nice and warm.
Yeah, the best
Yeah,
sea.
the best sea.
Which I
Yeah.
mean, it's really important because we all know the Mediterranean is the best sea of them all, but inside of the
Yeah.
Mediterranean, the
There's another
Adriatic is the
best
best.
area.
Is the best area. You have the Mediterranean, which is better than everything else, but inside
Yeah,
of it, if you want the best of the best, is the
yeah.
Adriatic.
No
So
big storms, nothing dramatic. No big problems nearby. Blue seas, blue skies, and easy living. That's what
and
Croatia promises.
nice
So
beach.
yes, please. You know. Oh, one of our Italian users says the Adriatic and Veneto sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
that's not really the
Greek,
Adriatic,
our Greek counterpart STS is saying, and no, he likes the Ionian Sea more. See, we've
Yeah,
started a civil war now.
yeah. You see,
But I would like to mention to STS that he has the other person near the Ionian Sea, is Turkey. So
yeah.
without them, yeah, you'd be right.
I mean, it would be better, but not the best. Yeah. Although
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
do consider the
It's a
Adriatic.
close competition.
When it's come to Adriatic, as far as I'm concerned, everything north of Rimini, Riccione, more or less,
Yeah,
anything north of there, it's not really Adriatic anymore. It's just,
it's just the
whatever.
bay.
Yeah,
It's just the
yeah,
bay.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. It's like the bay up there. The
yeah,
Adriatic is
yeah.
more here, in the center of
Oh,
Italy.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
sorry, Slovenia.
yeah. You're part of the bay. But you got quick access, so that's nice.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of.
anyway, we're looking at a nice Eurozone expansion soon. I think we should wrap it up, man. I think we've exhausted our time.
Yeah, I
It's
think so
past
too.
midnight,
It's
and
time to
it's
sleep,
time
or
to sleep.
or go
Yeah.
to the disco and have fun. Get some COVID.
Exactly. Get some COVID, man. It's a good idea. I unfortunately can't go to the disco because I'm old and my kids are ill at the moment, so I have to stay home.
I
Yeah.
could because I have the green pass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have it. I have the.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have a
You've
piece of.
got both vaccinations.
Yes. Now I can go wherever I want. Which, by the way,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
earlier said that people are going to go around Europe.
yeah.
Technically, I might go to Spain, but
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, is it Europe when you go to Tenerife, which is
yeah,
Africa?
kind of. Yeah, yeah. It
It's
is.
near
It
Africa.
is.
It's the African
I mean,
continent.
Yeah,
More
but you're
than-
still in Spain, you know.
Yeah, but is it Europe there? I don't know. But that's where I might go.
Very nice,
Although
very
not now.
nice.
It's probably going to be like
No,
in October.
in August something, yeah, or October, yeah, later on in the year.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, by the way. Go outside the tourist season.
But I mean, it's not like I have
Hopefully,
much
when the
choice.
Delta variant is dead, you know, that's what we're all waiting for.
Either that or we are all dead. Either one.
Yeah.
And then you don't need
Oh,
euthanasia. You just get COVID. It's a new
yeah,
euthanasia.
it's easy, you know. Just go to holiday on Tenerife.
We already have legal
It's
euthanasia.
technically Africa, so you're running a bigger risk, you know.
I mean, is it was it Ibiza? I think that has the Delta variant hotspot. I think it
Sorry?
was Ibiza.
Ibiza, yeah, but that's, you know, come on, man, that's just people partying and fucking all day.
Yeah,
You know?
but that's what you
Yeah,
want.
Tenerife is more like middle-aged, you know, people sitting at a bar, whereas
Well, I mean,
Ibiza is just mayhem, you know. It's just 18-year-olds just fucking on the beach.
well, there is that. What's the name of the other beach? The other island? I don't remember. One of the other islands is a bit more like partying and stuff. But yeah. If you want, Ibiza is like it's Ibiza. It's where English people throw themselves out of the roofs of balconies.
Yeah,
They can't
and
live with a
Germans,
balcony.
Germans, lots of Germans there as well, man. You have no idea, you know.
Yeah, but
And but the SDS is saying boomers. Well, you know, I mean, boomers go to Greece on holiday. I believe.
yeah.
Yeah. They buy a house there, which I'm planning to do later on.
Yeah,
You know, it's cheap. You know, people hate you. It feels like home.
although I'm sorry to say, it's not. If you want to invest your money, Greece, it's a bit too late. Croatia, you kinda still can do it, but it's a bit late. You should try Montenegro or Albania. Just saying, those places once they join the EU, like in the future, it's going to make your money become more money.
More money. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I live that long, you know.
And with that financial advice from these two super hyper financial institutions here, let's wrap it up, shall we?
Let's wrap it up. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week with a full cast.
Although,
the games, the finals are Sunday.
yes, but I would imagine the third and fourth position, you know, the fight for the third position is probably going to be Saturday. If it's that's the case, it's probably going to be again around the
but we can
11-ish.
do that during, you know. No one's gonna watch that. No one's gonna watch England Spain, you know.
That's the that would be
Everyone's waiting for Denmark Italy for the final. Everyone knows it.
yeah. So we are going to be here next week, depending on the game, either at 22 or later.
Yeah,
and you can watch the VOD on Twitch as always, and on YouTube. On Twitch, it's FG Eurocast. On YouTube, it's Forum Gotterfunken, and you can see there all the older episodes. And you can join us next week, same time, kinda, same people.
Maybe
more people.
We'll see.
Hopefully,
you know, I'm gonna see if I can rope that one Bulgarian in that I know. You know, I only know one Bulgarian, and you know,
I'm not racist. I know one Bulgarian.
Yeah, I can't be racist.
And I think with that, let's wrap it up.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. I'll be in the audio channel. Night.